I'm a firm believer that stories are a way of engaging people. People listen to a story in a way which they don't listen to a rational explanation of things or a lecture. We've got all these different approaches to forests, to trees, to woodland. And as I said, sometimes we can be, kind of jostling each other a little bit. We need to find ways of working together. And where better to look for inspiration for this, but to the natural world. And this is a little true story, a scientific story that I'd like to pass on to you as a kind of a little inspiration to us all. I'm sure perhaps many of you know about it. The Pacific golden plover is a bird that migrates every year from Alaska to Hawaii, a distance of about 2,500 miles. But the Pacific golden plover is not a sea bird. It can't land on the water to feed itself. So before it leaves Alaska, it has to feed itself up. It has to put on a bit of extra body weight. Now, the scientists have calculated that in order to make that journey, it needs approximately 100 grams of extra fat. But when they measured what they actually have, it's only 70 grams. So really, these birds should be plunging into the sea hundreds of miles before they reach their destination. But they all make it. Not only that, they usually have some extra left over in case of being blown off course by storms. So the question is, how do they do it? Have the scientists got it wrong or what? Well, the answer is they fly in formation. They fly together in formation. And the first bird somehow creates, by cutting through the air, creates an uplift effect for the birds behind it. And they in turn create an uplift effect for the birds behind them. And so it takes less energy for them to move through the air than if they were flying individually and alone. Well, you might say, yeah, but what about the lead bird? Lead bird's not going to make it, is it? Lead bird's going to only get halfway, not even that. Well, you know what they do. They rotate the lead bird. So I think there's a nice little kind of lesson for us there, that if we're all heading for the same thing, all heading in the same direction, we kind of follow each other's uplift and we get support from each other in that way, so that it takes less energy and we can go further when we work together rather than if we try to do it on our own. What I would hope from this is that people recognize that, there are others equally passionate to themselves, and we're all kind of trying to move in a similar direction, and we've got different experiences and different skills and different priorities maybe, but ultimately our values are shared, and that is we value the natural world above all else, and we love the experience of being in the forest, being in the woods. We want other people to benefit from these environments, and we want to get that message out, get that message across. It was the middle of winter. It was very cold. He got up one morning and he realized that he had run out of firewood, which is not a good thing to do in the middle of winter. So he thought to himself, I'm going to have to go out and cut down a tree. So he shouldered his axe and he set off, and he could see this tree on the hill, and he thought, that is the tree for me. Children love stories. We adults tend to have felt often that we've grown out of that we've got to adopt a more serious and focused approach to life. But, actually, I think adults respond to stories. If they let themselves kind of get hooked in the first minute or so, then if it's a good story well told, then they will go with it. To the hill. And he goes, "Oi, Hill, you're pretty strong, aren't you?" And Hill goes, "Yes, Jack Turnip, I'm pretty strong." "But I'll tell you something, Hill," says Jack Turnip. "You're not as strong as the tree, because the tree can sit on you, but you can't sit on the tree." So, can you form yourselves into groups of 4 or 5? Well, I'm not sure if I've yet kind of formulated the story that I might tell about this experience. I've met some great people here. And I just think it's a wonderful thing that people who are united by their valuing of the forest, the woodlands, the woodland edge, have converged here to share their ideas.